It's Danielle's birthday, which means we're celebrating with one of her all-time favorites, Center Stage. This 2000 dance drama inspired a generation to attempt ballet moves far beyond their skill and gave us a finale that's iconic. Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. And this week we are revisiting the gem, the best, the 2000s ballet drama, Center Stage. When I tell you, I don't know why I didn't pick this earlier. I think I had been savoring for this moment.
You didn't want the anticipation to wane. You had to find a
Yes,
right time.
I think this is the perfect time. I needed my spirits lifted. So,
Yes.
but before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here's how you can.
Are you tired of boring run-of-the-mill merch? Ready to spice up your life with something that truly speaks to your passions? At nomorelatefees.redbubble.com, you'll find a treasure trove of designs featuring your favorite films and iconic quotes from our episodes. Elevate your movie nights with merch that celebrates your cinematic obsessions. So, Danielle, what is Center Stage about?
It's about life. It's about everything.
It's about the passion.
You know, it's just you know that a dance movie always lives in my heart. So it's a movie about a young woman who's on the precipice of her life. So Jody Sawyer, she earns a spot at the prestigious American Ballet Academy, where she trains alongside a group of talented young dancers hoping to join a professional ballet company while working to improve her technique. Jody navigates demanding instructors, intense rehearsals, and the challenges of balancing her own style with the expectations of the ballet world. The movie stars Amanda Schull, Zoe Saldana, Susan May Pratt, Peter Gallagher, Ethan Stifel, Sasha Radesky, Donna Murphy, and Deborah Monk. The movie was directed by Nicholas Heitner, hope I said that right, and written by Carol Hi.
Heikkinen?
Yeah. You can currently watch it on Pluto, or if you have the DVD, spoiler alert to Ratings Rewind, you could watch it like I did because Jackie hooked up my DVD player. And when I say Jackie, Ken did.
Yes. I said, Danielle, I'm here. Here I am. Where is your DVD player? Oh, it's right there. I left it out for you. Okay, where are the cables that I need to hook up the DVD player?
Always something. Always asking me for more things.
And then she
And
just ran down with bunches of cables in her hands, like any of these. And I'm like, I don't think so. And then I twirled away and did something else. And then Ken was like, some of those cables worked. I was like, thank you.
no, what happened was you said these cables don't work. And I was like, damn, another day, another dollar, no DVD hookup. And so the next morning, Kenneth was up and he's like, I would like to put this together. And I was like, well, your wife said this don't work. But then I was like, you know what? I have a Blu-ray DVD player. Let me bring
Ah,
that down. Don't say off because he actually did hook up, he used those wires and hooked up the first DVD player,
mm,
but it didn't have a remote control
ah,
and it was too stressful. So I was like, oh, I have a Blu-ray DVD player upstairs and it has a remote control. And voila, he hooked that up and the VCR.
nice. To be
Although
fair,
mhm,
I did order the correct cables to be sent to your house, and my
you
plan was
did.
just to FaceTime you and be like, Match colors, Danielle. You can do it. I have faith in you.
And the thing is, like, I've done it. I
Yeah.
just,
In your
there's,
brain.
it's just become a point in life where I'm just like, if I don't want to do it, Jackie'll do it.
It's
And
true.
there's a ton of things you don't want to do, and I do it. That's how this works.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then Ken will always do whatever we don't do.
Right. And that includes food.
Mm-hmm.
Finish this. Okay.
100%.
I don't like this, but I'll eat it.
Yeah. Are you not ordering a meal? No, I'm just going to finish what you guys don't eat. Okay.
Facts. And it happens every time. Brandon does that too.
Well, back to ratings rewind. So, you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again,
The best. Would play on repeat.
5 day rental,
Would watch again.
2 day rental,
It's okay, but nothing to write home about.
and same day rental.
Trash. Straight up New York garbage.
Well, Danielle, what was your Y2K rating of Center Stage?
As if, as if we didn't know what it was gonna be. It's a would buy it again and again and again. Yeah. As many pirouettes she did at the end, that's how many times I'm buying this movie. When I tell you, I love a dance movie, but this movie, something, it was just like the perfect combination of the time period,
Hmm.
my love for dance, and my frontal lobe not being fully formed yet.
Yep.
And last
Yeah.
year, the Miami Film Festival had a 25th anniversary screening of this movie. Because to me, it was a year
It's
ago.
timeless.
Right. So my wonderful friend Sharon and I went, and when all she had to do was send me the Instagram photo of like, I would have just gone for the screening. But then I found out Amanda Schull was gonna be there. I was like, sign me up, partner. I'm there. So we got to watch the movie at the theater again, which was so wonderful because it just felt like I just was right at the theater again for the first time. And is it corny at points? Yes, but it's still motherfucking hits. I don't know. It's still so good. It's still so good. And then Amanda answered a bunch of questions, which was so cool. And I got brave and I got to ask a question and I was dead. She told me that I asked a really good question. I also told her that we had the podcast. So it was just like, I didn't think it could get any better. And we left the movie theater. Shara says, it's not enough. And I said, what you mean, girl? She's like, I think we can go back. I think we can meet her because she was like outside
Hmm.
talking to people and being interviewed and whatever. And as much as we talk about how I love to touch celebrities and stuff, I do also have this like thing where I'm like, I don't want to bother them either.
Yeah.
So we go back. And we're just sitting there waiting there and we just asked to take a picture. And she was so freaking nice. She came, she took a picture, she talked to us. Like it
Oh,
wasn't just like
nice.
a quick pic. She like really was talking and joking with us and she was the sweetest freaking thing ever. Like love her down, made me love the movie even more. And on top of that, as we're taking the fucking picture, Julia Stiles is behind us. That moment I perished. Would have been fine with it. I had it on VHS at first, and then I had it on DVD. So, and the soundtrack, top tier. Love it down. How about you?
So this was my period of time at Blockbuster where I was just buying everything. So I did own it. Okay, Danielle,
Hmm.
I know when we were talking a couple weeks ago,
Right.
you said don't ruin this movie for me. It's
Right.
it's all I got. Okay, so I have realized because my sister-in-law, Valerie, also really really loves this movie.
Right.
Y'all were both in dance. Y'all lived that dance life. I
Right.
did not.
Okay.
So, I don't think it's a bad movie. I it's enjoyable. It's just I'm not going to have that passion for it that you have. And I think that's okay.
And at that moment, the saxophone started playing.
We all have our special interests. Dance is not mine.
But this movie transcends death.
Danielle, when they're
It's,
sitting there watching the ballet and crying, I'm like, why?
Jackie, I just So, my special interest during the summers is Love Island. And
Yes.
there is a guy in the villa named Corbin, and they call him ChatGPT because he sounds like a robot. The way you feel about things sometimes, especially the movies, I'm like, is she real? Is she Pinocchio? What's happening?
I, well, no, because I am being honest. This is a safe space to share. And I did not say I hated the movie or it was a bad movie. It's just, it's not going to hit me like it hits you.
All right. Very fair. I'm
Like,
giving you a hard
you're not
time
going to
because
cry at the end of Fever Pitch when the Red Sox win the World
I
Series
did cry.
because the Red Sox won the World Series.
Because it was just so good. And I think about you and your dad and your
Yeah,
brother and your
you have
sister.
you have other sentimental attachment.
Yeah.
But in your normal everyday life, take us out of the equation. You're a Yankees fan.
Well, yeah, fuck Boston. And when I say fuck Boston, I don't just mean the Red Sox. First of
Yes,
all,
we know.
that Red Sox season, sometimes like as a sports fan, sometimes the story is just so good that
Yes.
you feel it like because they hadn't won for so long just
Yeah.
like watching that was beautiful.
I had the same feeling when the Cubs finally won the World Series.
I think I believe that them winning the World Series is what put us on this hellscape. I'm gonna
Oh,
put it
it's the
out there.
catalyst?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but just to rewind back,
Yes.
very valid points. I'm very much joking with you. We do have very different opinions about things because there are a ton of movies that I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. But the good thing is that we can have a safe space, be
Yes.
honest, but you not loving it the way that I love it is never going to change how much I love it. Because
Yes.
guess what? Like, if I didn't have you, there would be so many more movies that I'm by myself because in my family and some of my friends, center stage, they don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And if I sat down to watch it with them, they'd be like, "Bitch, are you okay?"
Oh, this is like this is a very white movie.
Oh, 100%.
Like they have two people of color.
Mm.
That is it. It is very from the lens, and I mean, just to get into a ballet academy is a very privileged thing to accomplish.
Well, yeah, ballet we'll get into it
Yeah.
being a very white sport. You
Yes.
owned it. I owned it and loved
Yes.
it. Let's see where this journey goes. Let's go
Yes.
to box office. So this movie came out May 12th, 2000. So we were just about to graduate high
Hmm.
school. I think we graduated towards the end of May, correct?
I think so because we didn't
Yeah.
get out till June.
Yeah. We do have some conflicting information about the budget. Some sources say 18 million, some say 29. I have to say the baseline was probably 18 and then they got to 29 with marketing, 29
That
million.
makes sense.
Opening weekend, it was 4.6 million and then it made $26.4 million. So depending on where this budget lays, it did good. Okay. It could have done better.
Maybe. Yeah.
I just wonder like what DVD sales were like later.
Hmm.
The box office at this time was Gladiator at number one, Battlefield Earth at number
Yes.
two. Oh, U571 at number three, Frequency at number four, The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas, and then coming at number six was Center Stage. And
I just in looking at this list, so Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas is number 5, but it's its third week in the box office. That is blowing my mind that it's still top 5 3 weeks in.
I hear a lot of people like that movie. And I think this was the sequel. This is the one where like, I think Stephen Baldwin
Yes.
was Barney or something.
Yeah.
Girl, I don't know. We
Wild.
were tripping on acid in that year. All right. Bracing myself for what Lil Raj has to say. Lil Raj awarded the film 3 out of 4 stars. He praised the dance sequences and noted that the movie ends with two big ballet numbers, wonderfully staged and danced.
He is an appreciation of ballet, it sounds like.
You know, today, Lil Raj, you can live. You can breathe some air, even though RIP. Monica Eng from the Chicago Tribune also gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, writing that director Nicholas Heitner's decision to cast real dancers paid off because the dance footage more than makes up for some of the dramatic shortcomings. And that's the other thing about this movie that they did like every single person has a dance background.
Hmm.
Even Zoe Saldana, who's not like she had a body double, obviously. She's one of her and Susan May Pratt,
Hmm.
they were not dancers, typical dancers, but they had enough to fake it and they had the body type. And so it was a really big gamble to pick ballet stars to be actors. And I think that considering that, they did pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into cast and crew, though, let's hear a message from our pod pals.
When you need a sister
Or
or
two
two to chat with about your favorite movies and shows,
come find us at Sisflix Podcast.
hi, I'm Paola.
And I'm Naja.
We're two sisters and designers who love to talk through the movie. Listen in as we critique and discuss beloved chick flicks, their plots, their aesthetics, and the messaging behind every scene.
What are our favorite rom-coms communicating about politics, feminism, and culture? What do the production design and costume design tell us about a story? And which sister will be sent to horny jail for lusting over the romantic leads?
Join us for our bi-weekly in-depth movie recaps, and let's talk through the chick flicks we hate to love, the tropes we love to hate, and all the aesthetic choices in between.
So, cast and crew: Susan May Pratt, who plays the best dancer in school, had no ballet training before being cast.
Yeah. And this is the film debut of Zoe Saldana, Amanda Schull, Ekaterina Chitelkanova,
Yep.
and Scotty Thompson's film debut. And I do want to say for Zoe Saldana, like we have a lot of conversations in the Black community about how she has talked about her proximity to Blackness and in her roles. I think for a lot of Afro-Latinas, especially, it has been, when they came into Hollywood, they were only perceived of how they look from the outside, not necessarily what their culture was. And
Right.
I know one of the things that she has struggled with is not being able to play a lot of characters that are Afro-Latina. So it
Mhm.
was kind of interesting that her very first role, that's who she plays, a Dominican girl in
Yep.
this movie. It's fully like integrated into her character. There like some stereotypical things about it, very much so, but it still was cool to see, to say
Yeah.
the least.
And of the main characters who are dancers, 5 are professional ballet dancers or have had ballet training: Amanda Schull, Zoe Saldana, Ethan Stiefel,
Stifle.
Sasha Radetsky, and Julie Kent. One is a professional figure skater, Ilya Kulik, and two were actors, Susan May Pratt and Shaquem Evans. Body doubles were used for many of the major dance sequences.
Yeah. That has always been like my Roman Empire is Zoe Saldana's dance at the
Yeah.
end, where you very much know that's not her. But at least it was a black ballerina, because there has been so many times where I think one of the most egregious is in Flashdance, where Jennifer Beals, like when she does like some breakdancing stuff, it's totally like a dude or something. It's always
Oh,
made fun of. If you ever get bored and want to watch something crazy, watch the Wayans brothers dance movie that they make fun of all the dance movies, kind of like Scary Movie. Yeah. All right, let's get started.
yeah. So we meet Jody Sawyer. She's moving from Indiana to try out for the American Ballet Academy. And her parents are hesitant. They just want her to not be disappointed, and they're like, there's no shame, like you can stay and go to college. And she's like, no, this is my passion, like this is what I'm going for. So we see tryouts, and then Jody gets in, and so then she's moving in. So Zoe Saldana is already there. She's chosen the top bunk. Her character Eva, chain smoker,
Yeah.
like, and rough around the edges. It's a protective armor. She's worried at any point she's going to be told that she's not good enough. And so she kind of sabotages herself before others can.
Do it for her. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. We meet Eva before she joins the academy, and she lives in New York, it seems, and
She's a Bronx girl through and through. Can't tell me any different.
that accent at the beginning, it gets better throughout the movie, but
Yeah.
it's real strong in the beginning when she's talking about how she thinks she's not even going to go, and her friends are like, what are you going to do here? And she's like, work at Hooters.
What, by the way, I'm like thinking to myself, I don't even know. There might have been a Hooters in Times Square, but I don't recall
Yeah, I
where
don't
there would
know.
have been a Hooters in the city. So they're in this academy. So they're in the like feeder system.
Mhm,
Essentially, it's like this is Jody's last year of, I'm assuming, high school
mhm.
before she has to make a decision. So her parents are letting her take this leave because they're like, you're going to go to college if this doesn't work out,
Right.
essentially. And so this feeder system, there's a bunch of girls who've been here for a long time. The whole point is that you were good enough to be trained enough to feed right into the company. And so they are rooming with the head bitch in charge, who is, God, what's that girl's
Maureen.
name? Maureen. And so Maureen has her own bed. She's been there this whole time. And she has this kind of, out of all the egregious bitches in the movies that we've watched, I don't think she's the worst. I just think that she has been playing a role, for a
Yes.
long time.
Yeah. At the beginning, she's way more snarky, like making comments about other girls' bodies with her mom and things like that. But I think it's because she's really never had friends at
Yeah. It's
at the
always
school.
competition, right?
Right. I don't know. Her mom works for the academy in some
Yeah.
capacity,
Her mom is like a secretary at the front. So
and
she's
her
been
mom is
a piece of work, to say the
another
least.
level, and like uses her. I wonder if,
Access.
yeah, I wonder if her mom got a job there just so that,
She could keep an eye. Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I've already made a whole full backstory of what the hell's going on here. But yeah, her mom definitely got a job there to like help pay for, probably to make things cheaper,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
also access to,
all the goings on.
yeah. And then we
Because,
we do find out at the end her
right.
mom was a ballerina, but she didn't have the feet.
Right. So she is definitely pushing to live vicariously through her daughter,
Absolutely.
100%. And that is a huge motivator to the point that like she doesn't care that like legit harm is happening to her child in
Correct.
order to,
Sacrifices
get
have to be made.
right. She don't give a damn. She don't give a damn.
No. We also meet Charlie, played by Sasha Radetsky,
No. Yes. Yes. Sorry. I was thinking about the other guy. So
and
the other.
then we meet who else? Ilya Kuliak, who plays Sergey,
Yes.
and
Who's an
then
ice skater in real life?
who is the other main dancer boy that hurts himself?
Oh, Eric. Eric. Shaquem Evans.
And so Shaquem Evans plays Eric. So that's kind of the friend group. We have kind of auxiliary members, like the friend who is gaining weight.
Emily.
Thank you.
So there's Emily, that blonde girl, and Maureen, as well as Sergey. They've
Mhm.
all been there. They were established. Who's new coming in is Jody, Charlie, Eric. Well, I think Eric was already there too. Sorry. So Jody, Charlie, and
Eva.
Eva are the newbies coming in. And so as soon as we meet Jody and Eva, that's when we're introduced to Maureen. They decide to leave the room because automatically Eva and Maureen don't fuck with each other.
Yeah.
And Eva is trying to smoke, and she's like, Maureen's like, we don't smoke indoors. So she's like, let's just go. And so Jody naturally goes with Eva, and in the hallway they meet Eric. And so Eric and Eva smoke, so they go smoke. I believe, I think while they're smoking, do they see?
I think they meet Charlie at that point. Some way when
Oh,
walking through the building.
they go smoke. I think they're in Eric's room to smoke. And when they're in there, Charlie comes in, he drops his bag and he's like, is this my room? I don't even care if it is. And Eric is immediately like, yum, want some of that. And everybody's like, same, Eric, same.
Yeah.
But Charlie makes it very clear in a respectful way, respectful king, that he just broke up with his girlfriend from Seattle.
Yes.
So he is single and he is straight. So Eric's like, fuck.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's pretty much. I think Sergey comes in at some point too, and we're introduced to his girlfriend and him are separated. I think she is at a company already. She's already
Hmm.
been recruited, so they're doing a long distance thing, and he talks about her a lot. And he's also Russian, I think.
Yeah. And then we meet the instructors. So it's Jonathan, played by Peter Gallagher. He's the owner of the company. Then we have,
Juliet, played by Donna Murphy, the legend that she is. I mean, mm. And for you laymen's out there, she is the voice and the singing voice of Mother Gothel in Tangled.
yes.
She is Broadway legend. She is everything. Love me some Donna Murphy.
And then we have Cooper Nielsen, who I think graduated and was a premier dancer at the American Ballet Academy. But there was like a scandal over the summer
Hmm.
where Kathleen, his girlfriend at the time, left him for Jonathan and ended up marrying him.
Right.
So
Which,
Cooper's come back with kind of a chip on his shoulder and
right.
like wants to prove himself in this company.
Just want to say again, Donna Murphy, 4-time Tony winner, best actress in a musical.
Amazing.
Just okay. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Ethan Stifle. I cannot stand his voice. It's like Paul Walker on steroids.
Don't worry, Jody. I won't be forgetting your name.
Like every time he talked, I was like, can you please just not?
What I love is that he is supposed to be a bad boy in ballet. I'm like, girl, please,
No. Mm-mm.
please give me a break.
I
Yeah.
was confused a lot of the time because not only do they all kind of look alike, like
Hmm.
especially when they're in the dance class, like
Hmm.
hair up in a bun, like have to wear the same thing. So like especially Maureen's group of
Friends.
competition girls,
Uh-huh.
like I'm like I don't know who any of you are. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But that's by design. So very early on, when they have their first class, it is shown pretty quickly that Jody has bad turnout. Her feet are not great. Like just all the tenets of what would make a great ballerina,
Mhm.
like Kathleen, are not necessarily there. And there's a lot of talk, even with the instructors, like, how does she get in here? So there is a lack of confidence with Jody as well. While Eva, on the other hand, has absolute natural talent, but has an attitude adjustment issue.
Yeah.
She shows up to their very first class late, chewing gum, and not in the proper leotard. So, as she don't give a fuck. And
And her
Jonathan is
hair's
there.
like in her face and stuff.
Yeah. So I think she's definitely on a road of self-sabotage for
Yes.
sure, because she doesn't want to show that she wants it. You couldn't tell me she wasn't a Scorpio. Just saying. So, yeah, there's some stuff going on there. Charlie is amazing. The girls do watch the boys in their practice, and this is when like the conversations are trying to find out if Charlie is straight
Hmm.
because he's new meat for the girls. So they're really excited about that when they find that out. And then pretty much the next thing is that all of Jonathan tells them that they're all going to be expected to participate in one of the first shows and handing out, well, trying to sell old ballet shoes to
Wild.
raise money. So it's like all the to do like very rich people
Yeah.
coming to get money or whatever. So we see Kathleen and performing. And is Cooper performing with her? I think it's his first performance back.
I think so.
Yeah, so they're performing and they have conversations with each other too while they're dancing, because obviously she hasn't seen him since he left Butthurt. And it is weird because I want to know what that gap in age between Jonathan and Kathleen are, because
Oh
gross,
yeah.
gross,
Yeah.
gross, gross. Because he should be dating Juliet
Yeah.
age-wise. So, but he's also a choreographer. And I was like, I would have loved to see Peter try to pretend he was a ballet dancer.
I agree.
But yeah, so this is when we get to see Cooper engaging with Jonathan after the show. So we see all the kids watching the actual performance and how they cry and they're moved by it, and how, this is their dream. They've all want to do this and they're just one step
Yeah.
closer to getting there. And then afterwards, they are tasked with selling the ballet slippers, and we see Jonathan and Cooper together, and Jonathan is telling Cooper that he needs him because there is a very rich woman whose husband just died and she has all this money to like put into something, and
Yeah.
she loves Cooper. So Jonathan's like, sing for your papa, your supper. Let's do it. And then there is this clumsy thing that Jody does. One of the things I hate in movies is when there's like a naive girl dynamic
Hmm.
with the guy, and she always has to be
Clumsy about it.
clumsy.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does she always have to be embarrassed, right?
Yes.
Anywho, she falls or runs into Mama Warbucks, because I can't remember her name. And this is when Jonathan's like, I don't know this bitch's name. She just got
Yeah.
here. I don't know. And of course, Cooper takes this time to be like, don't worry, Jody Sawyer. I don't run a company. I'll remember your name. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Oh, and we do have a meet cute between Jody and Cooper when she's moving in, where he's like, "Do you need
Yes.
help with your bags?" And she's like, "No."
She freaks out because she knows who
Yeah.
he is. And that's what happens when everyone's whispering out about him before the performance and stuff. They're like, he hasn't talked to anybody. And she's like,
He
he
talked
talked
to
to me.
me.
He asked if he wanted to help me with my bags. And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, y'all need to stop
Well, their
this.
whole life is ballet. They're looking for crumbs of hot goss to keep them fueled.
At the same performance or after the performance, Maureen runs into a cater waiter and he is enamored. He's in love. Don't tell him nothing else but Maureen,
I
Maureen,
mean,
Maureen.
hey, he's pre-med. You
Right.
go,
Hitch
girl.
your wagon.
Yeah.
So, and he goes to Columbia. He is asking for, he is down bad. He wants this girl's number. She ain't giving it. She ain't
Yeah,
giving it.
he's pretty persistent and it borders on the edge of like, but
Stalker.
she never outright says no.
Yeah, she just, but bruh, you didn't get the number. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if she had to say no, like, she walked away.
Yeah.
But at one point, one thing that we did miss is that a group of them went on stage and, like, just were, like, doing dance moves or whatever, which I say risky
Yeah.
because their entire bodies, anything happened to them, like Eric does later,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
wrap.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, so wrap things up. What happens next? It's all now it's going to be a blur because
Yeah.
there's
There is a night of, well, Homeboy does wear Maureen down. They start dating.
yes, because he keeps on calling the school, and one of the secretaries is like, Maureen, you need to if you need to tell your guys not to call here, so she
I'd
kind
be
of gets in trouble.
pissed. I'd be like,
You're gonna
you
get
could,
me in trouble.
yeah, you could ruin my chance at joining this company. Like, stop.
Right. And at this point, Jody she has been pulled out and has to go talk to, I think, Jonathan, because she's not doing as well as
She's
quickly.
she's in her head about a lot of things,
Yeah.
and the, Charlie glimpses Jody's dancing technique is more, it's not technical, it's more emotional. Like
Yeah.
when she's able to focus like her heart and soul into her dancing, that's where you really see her talent shine. It's not the technical feed out. Like
Right.
not everything is super polished like Maureen's. It's just a different type of dancing.
Right. And one thing that is called out about Maureen later that Jonathan notices is that Maureen has all the technical stuff down pat,
Mhm.
but she has no heart in it. She does
Yeah.
not love it, and that does show. So, yeah, pretty much Jody is getting beaten up by the instructors about her technique.
Yeah.
Eva does stick up for her a few times, in
Yeah.
not the best way. She definitely gets in trouble.
At some point they go to a salsa club. Like they just need a night out.
Yeah, things have been difficult. So they decide to go salsa dancing, also to help Jody like get out of her head and not
Mhm.
just think about ballet. So it's Jody, Eric, Eva, Sergey, and
Maureen?
Mo
No,
no,
Maureen's
Maureen
not
doesn't
there.
go. Maureen starts dating the college guy and she goes bowling and they eat pizza
Oh,
and then
that's
we
right.
we learn in that interaction that every time she eats, he noticed that she goes to the bathroom, she is throwing up.
Yeah,
So that's like a whole nother side story happening
she's
at the same
binging
time.
and purging. Yeah.
Yeah. So that group, they go salsa dancing, which such a fun part of the movie. And I love that Eric and Eva are like, what are you guys doing? This is not salsa. I'll show you salsa. And they
Yeah.
have like a dance off. Sergey is being hit on by some older lady. That whole scene is hilarious. They're having the
And in
time.
that scene, his figure skating body shines. Everything he's doing, I'm like, oh yeah, you're a figure skater, sir.
He's having the time of his
He
life.
is. And I think so. I will say how I'm not a fan of the ballet. So these dances, and even the ballet at the end where it's set to more temporary contemporary music,
Hmm.
those spoke to me much more than the like classical ballet with the like symphony and stuff like that. So like I very much enjoyed the salsa dancing scene, but they're also getting their margs on.
Right. They're definitely heavily drinking in this, which, by the way, I'm like, how did they weren't
Yeah.
21 yet? But hey, when there's a will, there's a way. Somebody had a fake ID, I'm sure,
Or
at
maybe
some
like
point
maybe Sasha or not Sasha. Sergey was 21 because he's been at
there for a
the school
while.
for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the next day they're a hot mess.
Yes, they're very drunk and they're still hungover. They're
Yeah,
falling apart, laughing, giggling, so they get in trouble. Their job is to clean all the mirrors in the studios, which could you imagine how many there are?
there were 8
Not,
studios.
not doing great. Not doing great. At the same time, Jody keeps running into Cooper
Hmm.
and thinking that, th- that it's kismet. She decides at one point to go take a dance class outside of the studio, which is frowned upon. You're not really supposed to, but she goes and she takes like I don't want to say hip hop. I don't even know what kind of dance, the jazz, something.
Yeah.
It's something.
And I think that because this is after the salsa night, so I think she feels like if I can just get more of that, like not as poised and proper dancing, I can like kind of root myself in my ballet more.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
one
just
thing. Oh, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
sorry. No, one thing about the salsa scene is that Elvis Crespo is singing, which was I remember at the time that was like a big deal for
Oh,
some reason. Yeah.
okay.
So that was cool. I am dying because I want to remember. So in this scene, the one behind you,
Mm-hmm.
this is like the cast of an entire Broadway show, I believe. That like
Oh.
there's a lot of people from Broadway because I think they knew the choreographer or something. And they all came to be in these scenes. They joined the movie. So they say the reason that this movie wasn't like just like a teen movie is because the director, Sir Nicholas Heidner,
Oh.
he was well known on Broadway for directing Miss Saigon, Sweet Smell of Success, The History Boys, and Fella. So he knew a bunch of dancers. So Susan Stroman did all the choreography, including the epic final dance scene with the red tutu. So there was also a ballet consultant on set to make sure the ballet scenes were accurate as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And Stroman was in the middle of rehearsing the Broadway show Contact. So the cast of the show was part of the higher ground scene. So if you look carefully, you can spot So You Think You Can Dance choreographer Warren Carlyle in there
Mm.
as well as many other Broadway legends are actually dancers that are in this scene. That's higher ground.
Okay. I'm
So,
with you now.
yeah. Um, so that's cool.
I do really love this scene, but it also in in movies in general. And like I
Hmm.
said, I am not a dancer. But like to go in and just immediately know all the choreography, like it's just something that like bugs my brain. Especially
But
we know it's her first time at that dance class.
so what happens in these kind of situations? In dance, there are core steps usually. And when you're a dancer, that's one of the things you have to do. You have to pick it up really, really fast. So, like, if you know the core tenets, like she's kind of spouting out some things and you pick it up really fast. I honestly, I don't think it's very, for a normal person who doesn't dance, yes, that seems crazy. But, like, I remember I'd have my tap classes, my teacher would do like, sometimes she's choreographing in the moment and you're
Mm-hmm.
just like, you break it up in parts, right? Like, you start with like, dot 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 dot, you do dot 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 dot, and then you move on to the next thing. and that's it. So I don't think it's crazy. I have to believe that Jody took other dance classes like besides
Hmm.
ballet, that's why it was so easy for her to like keep up and pick up with them. So, but yes, I do. I think it's more crazy to have a scene like She's All That, where everybody just magically
Oh
knows all
yeah,
this, the choreographed dance
choreography.
out
Yeah.
of nowhere, versus like you go to a dance class and you pick it up. One of my favorite things to watch on YouTube are just like these dance studios, the ones in LA or whatever, and they like will show you the dance, and then they'll have groups of people be in a circle watching, and there'll be groups of three doing it, and
Hmm.
they learn it so fast. I love watching those.
So the dance studio in this scene is an
Hmm.
actual dance studio where anyone can drop in at any time and take a class of their choosing. So
Oh,
it's
that's
a real
cool.
place. Yeah. But after this, because like the whole time she and Cooper are catching eyes.
Yeah.
Like because he shows up, it seems like he's a regular at this dance studio. So then afterwards he's like, have you had dinner? She's like, oh yes. And he's like, dessert. And so she hops on the back of his motorcycle and goes back to his place. He has nothing for dessert. He only has alcohol and a bed.
Right. Now that I think about it, because I had said that Jody was, I think this had to be after high school. I don't think she's still in high school. I think this is like
Yeah,
when she would have maybe been a freshman in college.
that's what I assumed.
But oh boy, has to be in his 20s.
Yeah,
It's
he's an
not,
established
yeah,
dancer.
it's not looking good.
No.
This is not great. And the whole scene, like you see his apartment, he ain't got nothing. He invited her over for dessert, and he's like, "Oh, I ain't got nothing." You knew you ain't had shit before
Yeah,
you
like
asked her to go.
you knew what you wanted when you started this engagement. Like,
100%.
and then we get the I want to be with you only for
I
a night.
wanna. When I tell you this, uh, when Mandy Moore did her big one with this one, when she came out with the song, and then she did the music video where she just sitting on the dance studio floor, just and like a little bit of fan
Yeah.
blowing her locks slowly.
Did you see the other night she performed for like the first time in a long time and like the millennials were losing their mind?
Jackie, she didn't just perform in a long time. She performed the song from Walk to Remember.
Oh, I don't.
Jackie, it was like the only reason I didn't love it as much as I did was because Bowen Chang and that asshole, the other
Yes.
asshole was with him. What? Be pissing me off. She knows
Taylor?
I'm a recorder. That like I wasn't having it. Well, I wasn't fucking with it. Whatever. But yes, that's what made it so iconic. Wasn't that we haven't seen heard her sing in a long time, but also the fact that she was singing that song from the play in A Walk to Remember. Not even like a
Hmm.
soundtrack song. She was singing a song she sang in that movie, and I was like, it was so good.
If it had been this song, I would have recognized it.
Also, like now I think about it, she was the voice of Rapunzel Entangled and Donna
Oh,
Murphy. Look at
yep.
how
Look at us.
all bringing us back. So yes, now Jody has done the deed with Cooper, and she thinks automatically they are boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, she's very naive in relationships. Little girl from Indiana
Yeah.
meets big time ballet man.
And she does.
It's so cringy.
It is, but it's because we're older and we have more sense. But she goes to his performance, waits in the wings because she thinks they're together, and he plays her to the left so bad. It's
She brings him
embarrassing.
snacks,
Yeah.
like dessert for next time. And he literally like hands it to Kathleen is like, do something with this. Like it's so like it's
And
just
she doesn't just give it to him and say because for next time and just walk away. She
Mhm.
does it for next time and then explains because you didn't have anything. I'm like, girl, get up.
So when we were planning out this calendar and we put center stage on the calendar, I was like, oh cool. Ken is going to be so excited. Like Valerie loves center stage. Valerie saw it 11 times in the theater. Fun fact. So I'm like, yeah, Ken's going to totally watch this with me. I put it on. He's like, I don't think I can do this. I'm like, what is happening right now? It's not a horror movie. What's going on? He's like, I just feel like it's gonna be so embarrassing to like rewatch it. Like it's just gonna have too many cringy parts, and he hates movies that are cringy.
Go ahead.
Well, and so I was just like, okay, like, and he was like, I was like, homeboy, calm down. Like, I will turn it off. We can watch something else. So I ended up watching this twice by myself because he was worried he'd be embarrassed. I'm like, honestly, there are so many other movies we've rewatched that are way more cringy on the rewatch than this movie was. This was like the cringe was there 25 years ago and it just still happens to be there.
They said people who get very cringy
Mm-hmm.
when watching movies or scenarios have a very high level of emotional intelligence and empathy.
I'll
And
tell
so
him
the
that.
reason that you feel cringy is because you highly empathize with that person, which
Yeah.
is a great skill to have. I
Yeah.
know I there are times where I literally have to walk out or I'm like
Mm-hmm.
fast forward like I feel as I'm that person and I'm
Yeah.
like I'm out this bitch. I'm out.
But
Oh
this
man.
whole Cooper Jody dynamic, I hate it. I hate it so much. Like essentially he preys on poor little newcomer freshman and then like gets what he wants and essentially like is cold shoulder to her. And I'm like, and I'm also upset with Jody because I'm like, you have Charlie right there going like, you're the best. Like whatever you want, I will help. I will help you with. Your dancing's great. Like I just don't understand. Like I get it, but grown me is like, girl.
We all have to like a fuck boy first. It's just a canon event and that
Yeah.
was hers. And it sucks because yes, Charlie is right there. I just feel like Charlie doesn't take he's not aggressive enough at
Right.
first because they do go whose birthday is it where they go to it's somebody's birthday they're celebrating. They take a limo ride, they go on the Staten Island Ferry, they see the Statue of
It's
Liberty,
one of
like
the
they go
boys' birthdays.
well they go out and on the ferry on the boat, he says to her, like, he's talking to her, trying to, feel his way through. And Jody's like, I'm kind of seeing someone or whatever. And it's so annoying.
It's Eric's
Then
birthday.
it's Eric's birthday.
Yeah.
So they go out for Eric's birthday. They have a time. A time is had. And even the icy bitch goes and she brings her
Maureen.
boyfriend. Maureen
Mm-hmm.
invites herself and brings her boyfriend. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
fine. And he's really cool. Everyone likes him. But he, realizes and he confronts Maureen essentially about this like eating disorder situation going on. They have a falling out and break up. Fast forward to back to the studio, back to school, they find out that they have a performance at the end of the school year and that they have to be able to, so they have to put on a show and they get split up into different showcases,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. Jonathan has one, and there's like other ones we don't really know who's in it. And then Cooper gets
Yeah.
his own and he gets Jody, which I think they gave Jody. No, he pick Jody?
He picked
He
Jody.
picked Jody. So they have Jody.
all sorts of fucking mind games, Cooper. Writing this play or like this ballet that's essentially what happened
in his life.
God
Right
damn
what
it.
you know, Jackie, that's what they say. But I think he really just thinks that it was a fun time, and he thinks Jody could be like an adult about it, but she is young. He's real a-hole about it. So it's her, Eric, and Charlie, and they are the love triangle. So Eric plays the role of, what's Peter Gallagher's character's name? Jonathan. And Charlie plays Cooper. And so they're
the pissing contest dance spinny off is wild.
But I love it because it's very much in their genre, right? You know, what are they gonna fist fight each other? No,
like, they're going, how about this?
Right, because Cooper is like top notch. And so I love the moment where he is going back and forth and Cooper does this thing and Charlie's like, I'll work on it. And the way he walks around. But then one day when he does it and you see Cooper's face, like, oh, I gotta watch out. Yeah. So they are putting this together, and during the whole thing, you could see that she's like infatuated with him and she's thinking that they're together. And Charlie clocks of like, oh, this is the dude you're seeing. Girl, you're in danger. Yeah. And Cooper yells at her one day because she's not getting the moves, and she's like, their friction, she's realizing this man don't want her because she sees him leave with another girl one day, and that's when she's really angry. And then Charlie sits down with her and says, use your anger and be able to like dance with it. So after that, everything's good, and guess what? Your boy Eric hurts himself. He gets I think he like sprained his ankle or hurt his foot. So now Cooper has to dance in the show.
He doesn't have to. He could have replaced it with any of the other students, but instead he's like, I'll do it.
At the time, we think it's cockiness, but later on we find out it's because he's trying to get funding to make his own company. Also, while all of this is happening in this group dynamic, we have Eva trying to figure out where she fits and realizing she's messed up her chance. She's working with not Kathleen. She's working with her teacher, Juliet, who is like, you kind of remind me of myself a little bit. And she gives her a little bit more grace and tries to say, when anything is wrong, you can always go back to the bar. This is always going to be consistent. So she ends up realizing that she has messed up her opportunity because she is in Jonathan's play.
But she's not a principal.
She's in the background.
A chorus, whatever the equivalent.
Yeah, it's chorus. Okay. And then who got the lead is Maureen.
Yeah. So Juliet, there was a conversation. There's some sort of conversation where essentially it's like Maureen takes it to heart of like, this is not what I want to be doing. Like, I'm hurting myself to prove something, and I don't love it.
She's happy because she's in her relationship, and then she's trying to have a normal conversation with her mom and tell her she's happy and tell her a joke that her boyfriend told her, and her mom is just not listening to her and talking about, because at this point Emily has left the program because of the bullying.
That's what it was, is when Emily left, her mom looks at the girls and is like, you have to take care of yourselves. Like, you have to protect yourself more than you love ballet. Like, at the end of the day, like, who you are is the most important thing, type thing.
Yes. Emily's mom says, you girls don't deserve this. They shouldn't be treating you like that. And then she goes and talks to her mom, and her mom, that's all she cares about. And so she's reprioritizing what's important to her. And at one point she has a breakdown and she goes to her boyfriend's house and she's crying. I mean, they had a fight. They're kind of broken up, but she's like, how much of you liking me has to do with me being a ballerina, and or me just being myself.
Yeah.
And that's like a core issue that she was worried about. And he likes her for her. So she decides, you know what? I'm out this bitch. So
But she
she
does it in the most Maureen way, the most Maureen Eva way you could, where we're now at the recital. I don't know what else to call it.
showcase the ending.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
showcase. And Jonathan's ballet starts, and oh, that's not Maureen. And Maureen's mom is sitting in the audience, totally unaware of what's about to transpire. Has all of her like hoity-toity friends with her, waiting to see Maureen perform. And oh, Eva is the lead. And like they're literally like, yeah, it says right here in the performance, or like the program. Where's Maureen? Where's Maureen?
Jonathan looks like he's about to pee himself. Everyone's like freaking out, but then she starts doing so well.
Yeah,
Then, Jonathan plays it off like, yeah,
I knew
I
it the
meant to
whole
do that.
time.
Right. So yeah, that's happening.
And
Eric,
Maureen's
oh, go
mom
ahead.
storms out
Right.
and goes into like the lobby, and Maureen is there, and she's just like, what the fuck? Like, this is what we've been working for. Maureen's like, no, like, this has been your dream. And yes, technically, I'm really good at it, but I don't love it. And I don't want to do it anymore.
I do appreciate that the mom asked, like, are you okay? Are you sick first?
Yeah.
But then she's still not getting it. Maureen has to walk away from her,
Yeah.
and leave it at where it is. And she makes that's when she decides that she wants to do it for her own life.
Yeah.
Cooper does try to apologize like, he tries to be nicer to Jody, I think. She does very much recognize that Charlie is her boy. She likes her some Charlie. And then we get the most iconic dance scene.
Yes.
We have the red background. And so it's kind of cool because half the stuff that they do in this choreography, that they couldn't really do in a performance
Yeah.
like in this way, but it comes out so well. And we see Jody's character starting, and she's in love with this guy, and he's the bad boy. He has the motorcycle, which is almost playing out her interaction with Cooper, which is insane. And they do like a whole choreographed dance number in a bed. I'm like, where'd that bed come from? Where'd that subway station come from?
Many a set piece that
Yes.
came in and out. I don't know how they were doing their hair with like 30 seconds off stage.
Right. But so she goes back and forth. By the way, the songs just in this number alone,
so good.
Epic. You have If I Was the Man Who Was Loving You. I love that song. And then you have Michael Jackson, The Way You Make Me Feel. And then you have Canned Heat by Jamiroquai at the end. And her on her tippy toesies with the girls behind me.
And the record scratch where she's just spinning and spinning and spinning. It's so good.
So good.
And like, even when like the costume change where he pulls on her tutu and then she's all in red.
Yeah.
And like her pointe shoes are red. Top tier.
So good. So good. And it's also because like in ballet, like we don't really see that too often. So it was, I think it was like one of the first times we kind of saw that hybrid. We eventually see it again in like Step Up or in Save the Last Dance. There was a lot of this ballet, hip hop, ballet, secular music kind of vibe, which was really, really cool. And one of the things I definitely said to Amanda Schull was just like, there's so many ballet dancers today that said that this was the movie that inspired them to go take classes or start their career, which is, I'm sure, such an amazing feeling. Like, because yes, you can look at this movie and just kind of just laugh at it and make it seem like silly and cringe or whatever, but to like a lot of girls just like bring it on for cheerleaders and all that other stuff, Legally Blonde for lawyers, whatever. This was it. This is huge moment.
Yeah.
Because you just felt seen to watch it.
Yeah. And then, so like standing ovation, everyone loves
Loving
it.
it.
But then immediately following the showcase, they find out if they've made the academy or not.
Right. And so we find out Eric has been accepted into the academy. We find out that Eva has been accepted because she goes, she's like, Jonathan, this was amazing. Did you know that? And he's like, yes. He's like, you can never do what you did again, but
Mm-hmm.
he takes her. We find out that Sergey gets to go to San Francisco with his girlfriend,
Yep.
who we meet later at the end. And then Jody goes in to talk to Jonathan, and she's like, I don't even want to hear what you have to say. I'm going to be a principal in Cooper Nielsen's company. And then we find out that this was a whole big, this is why Cooper had to dance in it, because he was putting all his eggs in this basket of getting the funding from the
Yeah.
rich old lady to start his own company with this vision in his mind. All the dancers in the scene from the higher ground scene that behind you, they're all going to be in his company. So she says she's going to go be at Cooper Nielsen's, and
And it was kind of like the fuck you of Jonathan, because that's why Jonathan brought Cooper
right back.
in, was
Yeah.
to get this lady's money. And boy, did he, but not
Mhm.
for the ABA.
Mm-mm. So she is at Cooper's, and does he take Charlie as well?
I want to say Charlie is with
At
the
American,
ABA.
yeah, yeah. So everybody gets a place, which is so nice. We get to see Maureen at college, which is wonderful, like that she's decided to follow her heart and go in that direction. So at the end, you do see everybody like where they're at. You see Sergey with his girlfriend Alina, I think is her
I
name.
think so, yeah.
You see Eric and Eva, and Charlie, and then you see Cooper and Jody at their studio.
And we do see before that, they're going out to kind of just celebrate the end of
Yeah,
the year. And Jody agrees to go on a date with Charlie.
yeah, which
So what
hearts.
took you so long?
Right. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty
That's
much it.
center
That's center
stage.
stage.
Woohoo.
So good, so good. All right, we have a lot of fun
Yeah.
facts to get through. Let's see.
So the American Ballet Company does not exist. Oh, I've been calling it the ABA. It's the ABC. Does not exist. There is, however, the American Ballet Theater, where Ethan Stifel was a principal dancer until 2012. He is now the artistic director of the Royal New Zealand Ballet.
Oh. When Cooper blows Jody off after the performance and walks off with another girl, leaving Jody standing there alone by the door, the other girl is played by Ethan Stifel's real-life fiance, ballerina Gillian Murphy.
Oh. Donna Murphy and Zoe Saldana have both played characters in the Star Trek universe. Murphy
Okay.
played Anji in Star Trek Insurrection, and Saldana played Nyota Uhura in Star Trek, the reboot of Star Trek, the Kelvin timeline.
And as we've mentioned before, there is a sequel to this movie. Have I seen it? I dare not. It does not exist to me. I'm not even playing with y'all. Fuck that. Fuck that.
There
Sorry.
are 2 sequels.
If the first one doesn't exist, the second one doesn't.
So you had mentioned earlier that Nicholas Hittner did the stage production of Miss Saigon. Displayed on the wall in a rehearsal scene is a poster for that stage production.
And Sergey is headed for the San Francisco Ballet, like we said, after his stint at American Ballet Company. Amanda Schull, who plays Jody, actually danced with the San Francisco Ballet for several seasons. I believe, don't quote me, I believe she was there before they recruited her for the movie. So,
The name Jody Sawyer is a reference to 42nd Street lead Peggy Sawyer. In both films, the main characters are dancers from small towns who come to New York and find success and romance on the stage.
There is a subplot in which Cooper Nielsen, played by Ethan Stifel, attracts the financial support of the wealthy philanthropic benefactors. An August 15, 2004 New York Times article entitled, How Much Is That Dancer? in the program revealed that Stifle has a very similar real-life sponsorship relationship with a philanthropist named Ank Palitz or Palitz.
Interesting.
Sugar Mama.
Screenwriter Carol Heikkinen based many elements of the story on real experiences and stories from the professional ballet world.
So the scene behind me, I hope I say this right, is a fauteuil scene. And it was very hard. Amanda said it was all in one take.
Wow.
But we did several takes of that one take. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 in the morning after having filmed and danced for more than 15 hours. I kept doing the fouettes. Sorry, I don't know what this word, fouettes, over and over again. And because I was so tired, whenever I pulled in for the final pirouettes, my leg gave out on me and I fell a few times. I was aiming to finish with a triple and my body just wouldn't obey me. She told this to Fashion Magazine. So hats off.
Yeah.
Because, like, yes, again, was this movie corny? 100%. But was it? I think so many dancers resonate with this movie because it was accurate, because there were so many dancers in it, because she was doing extremely hard moves. All of them were. So it did give that authenticity that you kind of look past, like, the other corniness of it all.
Yeah. And after Jody tells her parents she's been accepted into the ABC, her mom suggests she could still go to college and says Indiana has a great dance program. Amanda Schull, who plays Jody, actually attended Indiana University for 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. So Zoe trained in her youth at ECOS, which is Espacio de Danza Academy. And I didn't know Ilya was actually a gold medaling winning figure skater. And like I said, a double was used for Susan May Pratt and Zoe for a good amount. Yeah. If you want more fun facts, I'm going to work really hard to try to pull the video from the Miami Film
Q&A.
Festival Q&A, and we'll put it up. We'll try to put it up on our YouTube so that you guys can hear it from the horse's mouth, essentially, what was going down on Center Stage. Before we get into our ratings, don't forget to check us out at No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Threads. And Jackie, what is your today rating of Center Stage now that you've watched it twice alone?
5-day rental. It's enjoyable. It's not going to be one of my go-tos, but I enjoy watching it.
I understand.
And Danielle?
If I could buy it again, I would. It lives in my heart. It is definitely one of those nostalgia things. Because I'm telling you, when I watched that movie, I was like, you can't tell me nothing's wrong with this movie.
And I love that for you. And I understand because I have those movies that you don't get. Well, if you have anything to add to the conversation, hit us up at our Quick Drop. You can text us or call us at 909-601-6653, and you could be featured on a future episode.
Well, I do have a comment for us from Spotify. So, Nemory, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm not sure. They said, I don't know how Spotify knew this is one of my favorite movies and suggested this, but ladies love JJ and Joshua Jackson. I don't know how I said Jonathan, but Joshua Jackson. And looking forward to listening to more episodes of yours. Thank you. No, thank you.
Thank you.
This was on our Skulls episode.
Love.
Yeah. And don't miss next week as we rewind back to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
And as always, be kind and rewind and just dance.
Yeah.